Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 5th of December, and the sun is out. See it? It's also 20 degrees, so it's freezing, but the sun is out. And I was just on the ocean getting video footage with the Nikon P1000, and that footage will be up later. But as I was standing out there freezing my big white ass off, I was thinking about certain things. Now, without a doubt, I lost a lot of subscribers when I decided to tell people what I thought of the shape of the earth. It is what it is. It is what it is. If you are sincerely and honestly looking for truth, you're going to come into this arena. Do you see what I'm saying? The moon is 250,000 miles away, give or take, they tell us. The sun is 93 million miles away, give or take, they tell us. But yet, somehow, when you look at the moon and the sun, they're the exact same size. As a matter of fact, the moon can pass in front of the sun and perfectly block it out. Completely, totally, 100%. That's just a coincidence. Okay. Just a complete and total utter coincidence. I did a video the other night, once again, standing on the ocean, and I was videotaping the moon rising right off of the horizon above the Atlantic. It was coming up above the ocean. And it was enormous, absolutely enormous. And it was also completely and totally illuminated. And yet, the sun, and I used a compass to show you all these things, the sun had just set 1 hour prior. The sun just set 1 hour prior. Directly behind me, exactly 180 degrees behind me. So the moon was rising in the east, the sun had set an hour ago in the west, and yet somehow the moon's reflecting the sun's light perfectly and there's no shadow. If the moon's here and the sun's here and the earth is in the middle, there's going to be a shadow, and yet there isn't. And do you know why? Because the moon is its own illumination source. The moon isn't something that we can land on, which is why they never have landed on it. Which is why this great, big bullshit story has been going on for so very long. Out of the blue, a president whose death was also another enormous conspiracy. President Kennedy tells us we're going to go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And then a year later, we're doing it. And then we do it, and then we do it, and we do it, and we do it, and we do it, and we do it. And then suddenly we don't do it anymore at all. And then years go by and people start asking, why don't we go back to the moon? Well, shit, why don't we go back to the moon? Oh, because we lost all the information. We don't know how to go back to the moon. We lost all the telemetry data. When we went to the moon, they gave rocks from the moon to other heads of state, including one that was a duchess, I believe. And the rock turned out to be petrified wood. Now, why would NASA be giving away petrified wood claiming it was moon rocks? Doesn't that seem strange? That seem odd? Exactly. So why am I even talking about any of this at all? Because according to science, according to the elites, according to NASA, according to the experts, you have to have faith in them that everything is as they say it is. Even though when you simply look with your own two eyes at the horizon, it's totally flat. Even though when you look at the moon and the sun, they're identical in size and they seem to be the same distance away. And actually, many, many, many times, people have gotten videos of them with the clouds on the wrong side. There aren't any clouds 250,000 miles up, and there aren't any clouds 93 million miles up. But yet, we still get this information. We live in a society where they have mind-fucked people so bad that you believe what you can't see, and you don't believe what you can see, hear, touch, smell, and prove. Why? Because if the sun was local and the moon was local and there was somebody using Earth as a footstool, people would act a whole hell of a lot differently. But if you think everything is never ending, always expanding, shaped like a circle, shaped like a pear, oblique, oblate, whatever, what's the difference? It's like living in a video game. And as a matter of fact, in the last couple of decades, that exact theory's been postulated, that we live in a video game. No, we don't. This ain't no video game. Way too much pain in this particular video game for this to be a video game. So that's the reason. And unlike most, I didn't sit around watching YouTube and then going, wait a minute, the Earth's flat. I came to it organically. When I started my channel, I was always looking at the sky. Remember? That's the good thing about my channel. What I used to do and what I still do are the same. You know why? Because it's true. I used to watch the moon, the stars, I still do. But I believed NASA. Until I started getting better optics and I started noticing that the stars weren't distant suns, millions and millions and millions of light years away. Which, if that were even true, if something was millions of light years away, by the time you saw it, it's not even there anymore. And yet these stars are there every single solitary day. And when you zoom in on them with something like a P900 or a P1000, you can see that these are living, pulsating, illuminated objects that appear to be submerged in water. The water's above, the water's below. I hope that answers your question. At any rate, Richie from Boston, and I'm out.